So IPv6 chapter 12. So last time we did study IPv4. Today will be IPv6. Why is part 2 IPv6? So you should know why we need IPv6. IPv4 is still there, and IPv6 also. So how we can work together. Then we check the different type of IPv6 and the structure of IPv6 and some quick examples. It's not difficult. It's a bit longer than IPv4, but you'll get used to it. So let's check. This one shouldn't be here. It shouldn't be. Okay, anyway. So why we need IPv6? Because nowadays we're talking about Internet of Things. Anything can get an IP, your fridge, your microwave, anything. So IPv4 is almost finished, even your TV. That's why we created now IPv6. Let me, yeah. So you can check this one. IPv6 has been created because IPv4 is almost finished. We'll quickly check this slide, then we continue. Okay, now that you know why IPv6 is there, let me check here. IPv4 and IPv6. The IPv4 is still there, we're still using it. And now we also created IPv6. So we need to be used together. So we have three ways of using both. Either you stick on IPv4 only, or IPv6 only, or both. So if you want to use both in your network, we call it dual stack. The device run both on IPv4 and IPv6. Now, if you want to use IPv4 and IPv6 to be included, you can create what we call tunneling. It's a method of transporting IPv6 over IPv4 network. And also you can get translation. So as a network engineer, you can, if you want to keep both in your network, for example, if I do this, if I use my PC, I'm not sure if it will open, but let's check. I'm not sure if I have right to do that. Yeah, I'm seeing. So you have security. I must be administrator, but anyway, I'll show you how to do that. I'll show you how to do that. So usually, we keep both together if you want to use IPv6 and IPv4 together. Now, how IPv6 is, so it's 8 blocks. Well, you see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We call it XT. I don't know what is that, but anyway. So this is an example. You see, 2001, double colon, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this is an example of IPv6. So you can check this slide and we continue. Okay, if I come here, who want to log on, to join, click here. So guys, please, Saturday, we'll do a lot of IPv4 subnetting, so please come Saturday. Saturday, there is no recording because I'm using the projector. So this is an example of IPv6. Now, because it's too long, you can make it shorter if you have some zeros inside. So if you have IPv6 and some lot of zeros, we have some rules to remove them to make this number shorter. What are these rules? Here we go. So if you have a leading zero, like for example 01 AB, you can remove the zero, the leading only, to keep one AB. So if you have 09F0, after the F you have 0, you keep it. It's not a leading one. We remove a leading one. 0800, 800. Only the leading ones we can remove. So check this slide and this example. So we'll do a lot of examples, so no worries for that. So yeah, if you have 2001, there is no leading zeros, so you keep it. 0DB8, we have one leading zero you can remove. So you have 4 zeros, you can remove the leading zeros with 3-1 to keep one. 1111, there is no zeros, you keep it. So it will be same thing. So this long number has been reduced to this. So this is rule number 1, omitting leading zeros. Rule number 2, so read first, then I explain to you. So rule number 2, a double colon can replace any single. So this is an example here. 2001, we keep it. 0DB8, we have one leading zero, we remove. Here we have 4 zeros, we can remove the 3, we keep 1. 1111, there is no zeros, no leading zeros, we keep. Now here we have 4 zeros, 4 zeros, 4 zeros. So we can, all these 4 zeros, we can remove them and put double colon. 0 to 100, we have 0 leading, we can remove it. So if you have a series of zeros, we can remove them to add as double colon. There's someone who wants to join. So we'll do some examples, so no worries. So this is rule number 2, very important. Also, the double colon can only be used once. You cannot use it, and double colon cannot use it twice in a number. It's only once. So again, check this one quickly, and we continue. Okay, so IPv6, we have rule 1, omitting leading zeros. Rule 2, the double colon. What else we can check? Now, we have different types of IPv6, but there is one we will use a lot. In one, we're going to use a lot. So you can still see my screen and my sharing. Okay. How it will work? Let's check. So IPv6, we have different groups or categories. We have unicast, multicast, and anycast. What we'll use the most is unicast. So when you have an IPv6, because it's eight parts, the first 4 parts is called the prefix, and the last 4 is called the interface ID. For example, this is an IPv6 2001 colon 0db8 colon 004. You see, 1, 2, 3, 4. This 4, we call it the prefix. The prefix is indicating the network portion. Then you can assign this one, the last 4, to interface IDs. I'll show you an example. It's a bit far. It's a bit far, but I'll show you. Why is it so far? Okay, I'll show you a bit later. IPv6 with types. So we had 3 categories, but we'll use mostly the unicast. So if you have your IPv6, it's eight blocks. The first 4 blocks is called for the prefix, and the last 4 you can assign to IDs, to interfaces. Now we're going to stick a lot to the unicast. When it comes to unicast, we have 2 types: global unicast and link local. Link local is an address between your PC and your router. It's just an ID to identify the link between your PC to the router. That's all. Link local. But the real IP address to go to internet and to do whatever you want to do is called global unicast address. This is similar to a public IPv4 address, and we are routable. Anything public address is routable. It means it can go to the internet. So in that, so IPv6 unicast, we have global unicast that we'll use a lot. It's similar to IPv4 public IPv4 address. We have link local. It's valid between your PC to your router only. And we have other ones. So the most two ones that we'll be using is global unicast and link local. So check this slide and we continue. Okay, continue checking and we continue shortly. Okay, so take it easy, simple. Why we need IPv6? Because IPv4 is almost finished. Now IPv4 is still there, IPv is there. How we can work together? We have three ways. Now, how IPv6 address is, we have 8 blocks, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and we use hexadecimal numbers, and you see A, B, C, D. IPv4 is only decimal numbers between 0 and 9, but IPv6 we use hexadecimals also. See D, B. So now it's a bit long. We have some rules to make it short. If you have leading zeros, you can remove them. Rule number 2, if you have a lot of zeros continuous, you can shorten them in double colon, and we use the double colon once. Different type of IPv6, we have 3 groups: unicast, multicast, unicast. We'll use a lot the unicast. If you have an IPv6, you divide that IPv6 in 2 groups. The first group is the prefix of the network portion, and the other 4 you can assign to interfaces, to PCs. Now we see we're going to study a lot unicast. Inside unicast, we have many types, but we'll stick on global unicast and link local. So when you study, make yourself a short summary. Okay, what else? Okay, I'll give you what is most important. Okay, okay, it's here. Okay, let's check that link local. You see, you have your PC and your router. So that IP address is only valid between your PC and the router. Link local. Also, between 2 routers, you can have a link local. So check this slide, then I'll explain to you something else. I go step by step because when we start labs, if you say, okay, this is link local, you know what is link local. If you say what, you know. Okay, now global unicast address. We say that we have when you have an IP, the first four sections is for the prefix. Also, inside the prefix, we have something else. We can also divide in two. Can divide in two. These kids. These two, we have what we call subnet ID and global routing prefix. So let's see 01. Yeah, so for the first four, let's say the first block, and for example, let's say like that, the first block is for something else, and the last three is for the subnet. Let's say something to make it simple. Let me show you something here. Uh, you know this. Yeah, so this one is more clear. So IPv6, we have two groups, the first four and the last four. In the first four, we have also two groups. One is called for the global routing, and the other one is subnet. So the global routing is like your company ID. Let's say I'm MTN, and I want to assign IP address to CPUT. I'll start, for example, with 1,000, number 1,000. If I have another client, I'll say, okay, I'll assign you number 2,000. So the first block, we identify the company. So you can read this one. First thing first, check. Okay, I think this one you know now. So the first one, global routing, is to identify the network or your company, and you can get some subnet ID and interface. The last four you can assign to your PCs. I'll explain more a bit later. So for now, just check this 1 minute, and we continue. Okay. So this is an example of what we did here. So the last four is to assign to an interface ID, to a PC, for example. And we have these two groups. So I'm going to show you an example of 1, 2, 3, how it is, how and what it means. So this is an example. Anything in green will be the prefix, and anything in global prefix, routing prefix, it's an address that represents your company. We have a subnet. For example, if you want to say the IT office will be number 1, finance department will be number 2, marketing department will be number 3, and so on. And this is a PC. So let's say I have a PC, a IT PC in my company. The IPv6 will start with anything with green because it's my company ID. The subnet 001, that represents the IT department. Then I can assign any of these to my PC. So that if I see this number, I can say, this is a PC from my company, and it belongs to, let's say, finance department or IT department. If you have questions, just unmute yourself, tell us your name, and feel free to ask your question anytime. So check this one
So
also. 1 minute. Yes, question.
yes, I've got a bit of a question, sir. So the global routing prefix, would you say
Your
it
name.
belongs?
Who are
It's
you?
Wolingwe,
Your name.
sorry, sir. Wolingwe.
Okay. Okay.
Yes. So the global routing prefix, does it necessarily belong to the ISP, or is
Okay. Let's
it?
say.
Yeah, I'm a bit confused. Sorry.
Okay. So MTN, for example, is a internet service provider, and you're a client. You say, MTN, I need IPv6 addresses. Okay, because it's you say, okay, I'm going to assign to your company a number. Let's say your number 1010. It means any number, any IPv6 you'll be using in your company will start always with 1010, 1010, 1010, 1010. If me, Max, I have my company, and MTN will assign to me some IPs, MTN can say, okay, Max, you're my client, I assign to you 2020. So it means in Max companies, any IPv6 will start with 2020 and something else. 2020, something else. 20. So a global prefix will identify your company given to you by your ISP. Now inside your company, the subnet part, you see, this one, 01 will be for IT department, 002 will be for finance, 003.
Okay, sir. So that 2020 in this example, is it, would it be that 2001 in this particular example?
No, here, for example, is everything in green here.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, everything's green. This one will never change. It identifies your company. It means any IP that will assign to your company, we always start with anything in green. It will never change. Then subnetting, it's just a number to identify your department. Then you can assign your PCs any other number here. I'm going to give you an example. I'm going to give you an example. Okay, I'm going to put this one in green. Then I put this one in purple. The first time it seems strange, but when you get used to, it will become nice. Then you can say, oh, well, it's seems like that. This color is that, yeah, automatic. PC1 in IT department. So if I have a company, I go to MTN. Hi, MTN, I need IPv6. MTN will say, okay, this is the first 3 blocks of your IPv6 you can use. This one will identify your company. Now, inside your company, you can say, okay, 001 will be for IT department. So 002 will be PC. Finance department. Department. This again. Oh, sorry. I copy 003. You see, yeah. Busy PC in, let's say, logistics. So any IP in my company will start with the 3 blocks in green because it will identify my company. Now the fourth block will identify the office. For example, logistics or finance. 002 will be finance. It will be any PC that will be in 002 will be in finance department. You see. So this is an example how it's structured. So anything green will never change to identify my company. The fourth block is a subnet or a number that will identify the department. I put everything in green, in purple. And anything else, I can assign any number to the PC. It can be ABCD. So anything in black, I can assign anything to. So you can check again and continue. Okay, so nowadays for that, not spending too much time on here, we'll do a lot of, it's very simple. So when we do other configurations, if you deal with IPv6, always start with your global config, IPv6 unicast routing. Always start with that, and we can assign anything else. So what we'll be doing, I'll show you an example. Yeah, this is I'll show you an example. Yeah, so this is an example of configuration. Very simple, very easy. So check this one. Okay, so you go in the global config mode, you go to an interface, you tap IPv6 address, and yeah, everything, no shutdown. So that's what we will be doing for IPv6. We have a lot of theory, but at the end of the day, it's something simple we'll be using. That's all. Now, if you have your PC and you want to add, if I open Packet Tracer, I open this PC, for example, and you want to add a IPv6, you see on top is for IPv4, and down here is for IPv6 configuration. We can manually add it with the /64, or you can get it automatically via a DHCP server. So in our packet tracer, when it comes to IPv6, we're going to use the bottom one for IPv6, top one for IPv4. So we'll have the IPv6 address. We'll also get the link local compulsory and the default gateway. The three are compulsory. We continue. So that's all, guys. Anything else? It's a lot of theory around, but yeah. So this is an example. You can check. If you have your PC, this is how it will be. Yeah. Now, if you want to configure the link local, you go to an interface and IPv6 address FE80. Any IP address starting with FE80 is a link local, and you add the link local. So this is an example of how to configure a link local. So check that. Okay, so in our packet tracer, we'll be using the link local, this one. It's always start with FE80. Then we also use this one. So that's all I can say for IPv6, and we can stop here. Anything else is a lot of theory that normally we don't use. So while we're doing some labs, some packet tracer, if it is something new, I'll explain to you. So let's go to a PowerPoint and check if it is something there. You know, the link local. Yeah, this is also an example of how to configure IPv6 on an interface. You can check that. Okay, something we'll be doing. And it's an example. If you have your own PC, your physical PC, and how to configure link local. In the global config mode, interface name, IPv6 address, always start with FE80 for link local, no shutdown. So you can also check this slide.
Mr. Max.
Yes.
Mr. Max, listen here. Just one question, man. The link local, can you set it on the root as well as the switch?
Yes.
And the IPv6 is
Yes.
the global configuration you do on the PC, and then you do the link local on the switch or a router.
Normally with IPv6, we always have two addresses. It's compulsory to add. We add the GUA, the global one, and the link local. All
Yes,
the
yes,
time.
yes. No, I understand, but what I'm asking is, can you do it on a switch as well as the router?
Normally we don't add an IP on the switch because the switch understand only MAC address.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
What? Matthew, thanks.
No problem. You're welcome.
I've,
So
I've got it.
anything
I've got
related
it.
to, okay, sure. Excellent. Okay, normally that's all, guys. So let me make it short and simple. Anything else? And here it's a lot of theory that you can read, but what we'll be using a lot is what I explained to you. So if we do some labs and there is something we didn't do here, I'll explain to you. But yeah, mostly it's what. Because sometimes NetAcad, we give too much info at the end, the student is lost himself. So I give you what is the most. So Saturday also, after we do few IPv4, we also do a bit of IPv6. Like, for example, this lab. Yeah. So when it comes to subnetting, so here the subnetting, it's not like IPv4. It's just a number to identify an office or a department. That's all. The first 3 blocks identify your company. The 4th block is a number to identify a department, and anything else you can assign anything to the PCs. Okay, I think that's all. An example of IPv6, Yeah, that's all for IPv6. We'll be doing some labs, and from there, you could know, you could understand more. Any questions? So guys, we are almost done. Next week, we'll finish with theory. Everything here is only some readings. So when we say next week's Wednesday, we are done with all the chapters. Then I think you'll get 1 week. We'll do 1 week revision. And your exams will be week 1 of April. I'm going to post in the WhatsApp group. So next week's, we are done with anything theory. That's why I say, guys, please do your chapter exams. Don't delay. After Wednesday, you'll have a week for revisions. Then after that, week 1 of April, you have your exam. So one will decide either week 1 or week 2, but I'm sure it's week 1. So please push. If you go in NetAcad, you can also do other chapter exams. You can do them many times until you get a good mark. Secret for Cisco, you must study every day, minimum 2 hours. Every day, 1 packet tracer. If you do that, you're fine. Else, so what exams you can do again? So you did the first one, basic network, number 1. You did number 2 after chapter 7, Ethernet concept. You did number 3 after chapter 10, communicating between networks. Then Saturday, this chapter is very short one. I think Saturday I'll try to do it quick. And we do some examples of IPv4, few configs of IPv6. So that at least you can do the exam. Then how many exams remaining? 1, 2. and 3. So you have 3. So don't delay, guys. Study, 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 push. You'll make it. Let me check some readings. Chapter 3, okay. Daniel has finished her 3. Barbara, you still have 1 remaining. Hassan, 1 remaining. Non-Domiso, you have 1 remaining. Monique, you have 2 remaining, and you must do number 2 and number 3. So please don't delay. You still have 3 more before your final exams. Questions, guys? Okay, no questions. We meet on Saturday. If you didn't do your student card, please do it at the security. You go to security administration building. There is a security office there. You ask them, will guide you, and you do it. So if the entrance at the engineering building, they give you issues, there is another entrance where the church is. You go there, you tell them you're going to do your student card, and they will allow you to go in. Have a good evening, guys, and see you Saturday at CPUT.